Carla?
Miss May told me to show this paper to you.
Yes, you're going to do your word work right after you do your assignment for reading. If you haven't done your cursive, you can finish that up too. Remember, we're only doing one letter per page, right? And then you can keep that in your desk, and then every day after our reading assignments, if you finish your seesaw, if you're not meeting with Miss Fullington in small groups, because we are meeting for our small groups today, and I will need the blue group to see me today after our reading, okay? So it'll be super quick. It's a super easy assignment, but we're going to just talk about some things with the blue group today. And then everybody else will work on their seesaw activity and then the word work packet and your cursive writing. And then when you're done with all three of those, then you'll start your stations. Okay. All right. So we're going to go ahead and start with our phonological awareness. So that's our sounds today. And so it says, I'm going to say the syllable in a word, and you'll blend the syllables and say the word. So listen as I do the first one. So the syllables are store, storm, e. When I put together that word, I have the word stormy, right? So you ready to try it? Okay. So we're going to blend the syllables to say a word. So here's the syllables. Peaceful. So what is my new word after I put those two together?
Peaceful.
Peaceful. Good job.
Oh.
All right, so let's keep going. Ready? Our new word is harmless. What is my new word?
Harmless.
Good job. All right, here's the next one. Our syllables are suddenly. If I put those together, what is my new word?
Suddenly.
Suddenly. Good job. All right, here's the next one. Forgetful. What's my new word?
Forgetful.
Good job. All right, here's the next one. Chilly. What is my new word?
Chilly.
Good job. All right, here's the last one. Gratefully. What is my new word? Good job. All right, so now we are going to delete or take away the suffix in a word to say the new word. So listen as I do the first one. All right, so the word is humorless, and if I take away the last syllable less, my new word is humor. Oh, so now we're taking away the suffix. All right, here's the next one. So now it's your turn to do it. If I have the word stormy and I take the E away, what is my new word?
Storm.
Storm. Good job. All right, here's the next one. If I have the word peaceful and I take the suffix full away, what is my new word?
Peace.
Peace. Good job. All right, here's the next one. If I have the word harmless and I take away less away from that base word, what is my new word? Harm. Good job. All right, here's the next one. If I have suddenly, the word suddenly, and I take away the lee, what is my new word? Sudden. Good job. All right, here's the next one. If I have that word forgetful and I take away the full away, what is my new word? Forget. Good job. All right, so we're going to keep moving forward. And so we are doing a blend and read. But first, before we do our blend and read, Harlow, you might want to mute yourself. And when we do, before we do our blend and read, remember we're learning that suffix, remember the long E, remember we're looking at that Y, the E sound, so the Y makes a long E sound, so E, and then we're also doing the suffix ly, lee, right? So it says here, when a word has when the suffix y adds the meaning like or with or full of, the suffix ly adds the meaning in that way, remember? So it says here, when a word has one vowel followed by one consonant, double the final consonant before adding y, right? So it says here, if I have the word fun and I want to put E at the end of it, I am going to double that consonant in fun to make it funny, right? So the two consonants stand for just one sound. All right, so it says here, when a word ends of a final silent E, ooh, that sneaky E, we drop the E before adding Y. Ooh, so let's think of one that has an E at the end. A word, and then we have to add Y to it. Let's see. Ooh, I know one. You ready? If I have the word shine, right? The sun shines in the light or in the sky. Shine has a silent E. We have to take away that E, that silent E, and then add Y to make the new word. What's my new word if I add Y? Take away that silent E from shine, and then I put E at the end of it. The Y. What is my new word?
Shiny.
Shiny. So that's
Shiny.
how you would do that one. Yep. When a word ends in a, oh, I already did that one. So the word handy has two syllables, right? So let's count it out. Handy. That's how many syllables? Two, right? So it ends with two syllables. It ends with a vowel, Y, and a long E sound. For two-syllable words that end in a consonant followed by a Y, change the Y to an I before adding the suffix ly. So if the word happy, right? If I have the word happy and I want to put Lee in front of it, well, it already has that Y, right? But we have to take away that Y and put an I, and then you could put ly. So if I take away the Y and put I in the word happy and I add ly, what is my new word? So remember happy, and I take away the Y and I add an I and add ly. Happily, right? Happily is our new word. So that's how you would take away, that's how you would add Y and add ly to it. Oops. All right, so now we're ready for the blend and read. So I'm going to go ahead and present that to you. It's this one right here. All right, give me a thumbs up if you can see that blend and read. Give me a thumbs up if you can see the blend and read page. All right, so we aren't going to have our microphone on, but you can still say these words with me, okay? Ready? 1, 2, 3. We have picky, lucky, wisely, sunny, tasty, quickly. Number 2 says lefty, mostly, rainy, nicely, breezy, sleepy. Oh, number 3 is bison, bonus, final, focus, silent, siren. So number 4 is restful, useful, testing, sitting, thankful. Number 5 is with ly, lazily, easily, finally, rapidly, summary. Ooh, that ends with a Y. All right, so number 6 is Roxy will gladly eat a yummy meal. All right, so number 7 says Chuck mixed the lumpy sticky cake mix. Number 8 is Chuck, do you know any silly songs to sing? So that's something we can practice a little bit later, right? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and stop presenting that one. And we're going to move on to our power words. So we have new power words. What does that mean if we have new power words? A new story. So let's go ahead and switch over to our new power words. And so you're going to repeat after me, but remember to stay silent or keep your microphone on off. You can still say these words even though I can't hear you. It just knows that you're trying to learn these new words, right? All right, so everybody say tough. Oops. So tough means if something is tough to do, it is difficult or challenging. So it says some puzzles are really tough to complete. So he's having a hard time, isn't he? All right, our next word is pellets. Everybody say pellets. So pellets is a noun. So it says pellets are tiny balls of something. So in this picture, the tiny pellets of sleet fell all over the grass. So that's another word for hail, right? That falls from, it's basically small pellets of ice that fall from the sky. All right. Everybody say predict. So predict is a verb. So it's an action. If you predict something, you say it will happen before it does. So it says the weather forecast will predict the weather for the week. So the weatherman also predicts the weather for the week. So they share it with us, right? Everybody say clings. So clings is a verb. When something clings to something, it sticks to it. It says my hair clings to the balloon. All right, our next one is funnel. So remember this little funnel right here that the little girl's holding. Funnel is a noun. It's an item. A funnel has a wide circle at the top and a short, thin tube that liquid can run through. It's a funnel. Good job. All right, everybody say occur. So occur is an odd word to say, right? It's a verb. When things happen or take place, they occur. This is a solar eclipse does not occur every time, right? Very often. So it says sometimes soccer games and parades occur outside. So that means they happen outside. All right, so everybody say excess. Excess is a noun. So an excess of something is more than it is needed. So it says the baker trimmed the excess of dough from the pie pan. So he's trimming off the extra parts of the pie dough that this person does not need. And our last word is damage. Everybody say damage. So as you can tell, damage is a verb. And you can tell that this was from probably a hurricane or a tsunami, right? From high winds. When you damage something, you cause harm to it. It says a storm can cause damage to homes and streets and maybe some environmental areas, right? So that's our last word. All right. So with that being said, we are going to do our poster for today, and our poster is inferencing, right? So inferencing is basically, so let me go ahead and present that for you. Let's see. Here it is, right here. All right, so it says here, to make an inference. When you make an inference, or you make inferences, you can use clues to make a smart guess about something the author doesn't tell you. So it says here, clues from the text and pictures. So you always look at the pictures and you always look at the words, plus clues from what I already know. So something that you already know. So if I have a book about giraffes and I look on a book on epic, I'm going to look at the pictures and some vocabulary words, plus the information I already know about giraffes equals an inference. So we did inferencing with, you know, those Disney Pixar short films. Remember we watched the blue umbrella, and then we watched the bird on the beach. And so remember those short films, those Disney short films do not say any words. So we had to guess, right? We had to make a guess on what was happening in the story. And so today we are going to do that in our small groups for the blue groups. We have a picture and we're going to have to guess what's happening in the picture, right? It's almost like a prediction, but you're inferencing and you're gathering clues. You're a detective, you're gathering clues in the picture and figuring out what's happening, right? All right. So we are reading a story, so you need to go to page 100 and 102. 102 and 103. So it's this picture, if you can tell, it's called Wild Weather, and it has a picture of it's almost like a origami bird. So everybody go ahead and do that for me. Page 102, 102. Christopher, did you have a question?
I don't know where my book is.
Okay, so you're going to look at a neighbor's book, okay? It should be in your desk. I'm going to be right back, guys.
Emily.
Okay, sorry about that, guys. Let me go ahead. And we're going to read the story. We're going to prepare to read first, right? So let me go ahead and switch our story out. All right, give me a thumbs up if you can see our story. Awesome. Okay. All right, so we are going to prepare to read. And it says here, prepare to read Wild Weather. So the genre studies a narrative nonfiction, which means a narrative means that it's going to have someone reading the story. So it's in third person, which means it does he said, she said kind of thing, or they will. So it's a third person, somebody else is telling the story. So the narrator's not going to be in the story, right? But it says a narrative nonfiction gives facts about a topic, but it reads like a story. So as you read Wild Weather, it says look for information and facts about a real topic. So what's our topic going to be? Because it says it in our title. What's our topic? What is it about? Omar?
A wild weather.
Wild weather, right? So it's talking about certain types of weather. So we know our topic, right? But this time it's going to tell us information and facts. So it's going to teach us about wild weather. But we're also going to look for visuals such as maps or diagrams with the text. Also, we have ways that visuals and words help readers understand the text. So we're going to look at some words and pictures that may help us with new vocabulary words, right? But we're also going to set a purpose. We're going to read to make smart guesses or inferences about things that the author does not say. So use clues in the text and pictures to help you. So it does have all of our power words in there. And so you're going to use this story. This story is going to help you a lot with your power words assignment for today. So you want to keep hold of this, this book and this story when you do your assignment in Seesaw, because it's going to give you the answers. You just got to look for them in the story, in the text. That's called text evidence. So we're going to take a look and listen to the author. It is Thomas Kingsley Troop, or yeah, I think it's Troop. So we're going to listen to the story. I may be pronouncing his last name wrong, so forgive me. But we're going to listen to, and we're going to meet the author, okay? So let's listen.
Thomas Kingsley Troop wrote his first book in 2nd grade. It was an exciting story about a superhero. He kept on writing, and now he has written more than 40 books for kids. Some are fiction and some are nonfiction. When he isn't writing, he likes watching movies and taking pictures.
Okay, so this is our author. All right, so we're going to go ahead and listen to the story. Make sure you have a pencil or an eraser that's going to help you track and read. It can be your finger. It can be a marker, but make sure the marker's top is on. You're not writing in your book yet. Something that you could probably do if you find numbers or capital letters. Oh, I like that eraser, Mackenzie. That's huge. So what you can use your pencil for or your marker is if you find a number, circle it in your book, because that's going to help you probably find some information. Remember, because we're going to practice, remember, finding information in our that's our text evidence. So you can circle. So you can probably put a box around the title Wild Weather, because that's how we know that's our story, right? And you could probably put a circle around the author and the illustrator. So in your book, go ahead and box Wild Weather and circle where you can find the author, because those are important. We need to know that that's our story and our title, because that's a text feature, right? And we know who the author and the illustrator is because that's who wrote and drew the pictures, wrote the book and drew the pictures. So that's another text feature that we need to know.
Flemington?
Yes.
That's actually my big eraser.
That's okay. You and Mackenzie can take turns. Oh, that's your book or your eraser?
My eraser.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for letting her use it. All right, so let's go ahead and read this story, Wild Weather. So Miss Flynn is going to mute herself, and we're going to listen to the story.
Wild Weather by Thomas Kingsley Troop. Illustrated by Jamie Kristoff.
By the way, based on this picture of this title, this cover page, what's going to happen in our story? What do you think is going to happen? So let's take about 5 seconds, 5 long seconds. So you can do 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. You can say that in your mind while you take a look at the picture. Take about 5 seconds to form a prediction. All right, Clinton. I think we had some good time. So, Clinton, right here it says, what is your prediction about this story based on the title page? What do you think is going to happen in the story, Clinton?
A lot of bad weather's gonna be coming.
A lot of bad weather is coming. Is that what you said? Yeah, I see that because if you look, there's some lightning, there is some rain happening, right? And there's gray clouds. Remember we learned about the gray clouds and what it means in our last story, that it looks like it's going to be a bad storm or a thunderstorm. So we're going to see what's happening with this birdie. So for the sake of time, we're going to have to move on. So keep your predictions. We're going to have to move on. So we're going to be on page 104. So let's go ahead and read page 104 and 105. Make sure you're tracking and reading.
High up along a mountain trail, a hiker sat and folded an origami bird. "It sure is sunny," she said. As she held the bird high, a gust of wind lifted the paper. The bird began to fly. Whoa, how did it get so windy? Just then, the bird spotted a duck flying nearby.
So on this first page, you notice that the bird is not a real bird, is it? What is the bird made out of?
Paper.
It is made of paper. So what makes the bird that the hiker is holding begin to fly? What happens? What happens to paper when it begins to fly? It floats in the air, right? The wind current, right? The wind flow current picks up the paper and it flies like a paper airplane, right? Good job. So a gust of wind lifts the paper. How does the detail and the illustrations help you understand what origami means? What does origami mean? Miss Fullington said that several times. Origami. So if you don't know what origami is, take a look at the picture of the bird. And we know that it's paper, right? So Mackenzie and Harlow, make sure you're paying attention. So we know that it's paper. So what does origami mean? Who wants to take a wild guess what origami means? It's okay if you're wrong. We don't, the word's very, very foreign to us. Clinton?
Real.
Real? Okay. It can be. Well, we know that the paper's real, right? But the character's not real in this story. But origami or Rolanda, you want to take a wild guess before we say it?
Line.
Say it again.
Line.
Line?
Line.
Well, it has to do with the way you fold it. So yes, it creates lines and creases. So you're technically right. So it's the way the paper is folded. It's folded paper to make different shapes. You can manipulate or change the paper's shape by folding it. And that's what origami means, right? All right, so let's keep reading. That was just a fun thing. All right, let's go to the next page.
Hey there, what's your name? The bird remembered the hiker had said Sunny. Sunny, I think. I'm Chuck. Nice to meet you, Sunny. Say, I've got a real problem. My wife, Natasha, is missing. We were trying to fly away from here.
So I'm thinking out loud. And so the text says that Chuck has a problem, right? His wife, Natasha, is missing. Chuck also tells Sunny that he and his wife were trying to fly away from here. I wonder why they wanted to do that. I know birds may fly to a warmer climate, when it gets cold. I think that is the reason Chuck and his wife want to leave. Don't you? That may be a reason why, right? So let's go ahead and think. So it says here, I want you to label Sonny and Chuck. So who is Sonny and who is Chuck? Go ahead and draw an arrow to who is Chuck and draw an arrow to who is Sonny. So their names are in the words. So you can find the word Sonny and Chuck and then circle it and draw an arrow towards the characters. Right? So when you're done, you can go ahead and turn your page to your story to 106 when you're finished. All right, we're going to go ahead and keep reading.
Why do you want to leave? Sonny asked. The mountain valley looked nice enough. Aren't you a bird? Most birds fly south before winter. This wind is making flying tough. Where did all this wind come from? It's simple, he said. The sun heats the land, making the air above it warm. The warm air rises. Cool air rushes to take the place of the warm air. And because Earth spins, wind can come from any direction. So, do you think the wind carried Natasha away? Sonny asked. I hope not, Chuck cried. She was right next to me, but then she disappeared. Cool air, warm air.
So it says here, what text feature helps you understand warm air and cool air? Harlow?
The little house says warm air is up and the cool air is right.
Right. So it's the arrows, right? So that's you know what that's called? Everybody say diagram. So diagram is a labeling of pictures, and they label the pictures warm air and cool air, and they show you the direction sometimes, or they show you how things work, right? So in this case, the diagram is showing you how the air moves on Earth, right? So good job, Harlow. So it says, so you said that the warm air goes up, Harlow, and then the cool air goes to the right, right? Good job. So why do you think the author uses the red arrow for the warm air and the blue arrow for the cold air? Why do you think he used those colors? Clinton, I saw your hand go up first. Why do you think he uses those colors?
Because warm is red and cold is blue.
Yeah, good job. So they're probably using weather colors, right? To help us understand that warm air could be hot, which means red, right? And then the cool air means it's cold, like ice, right? So it's blue. Good job. Y'all are very smart. All right, let's keep moving on to our story.
A drop of water struck Sonny's wing. Just what we need. It's raining. Fly underneath me, Sonny. I don't think wet paper is good for flying. Clouds and rain? How did they get here?
Why did Chuck tell Sonny to fly underneath him? Rolando?
People get filled with wet water.
Oh, the paper? The paper ruins in water? Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So it says here, Chuck knows Sonny is made of paper, so he doesn't want him to get wet in the rain. Good job.
Check out this water cycle chart. It explains how clouds form and rain falls. Wow, that's pretty simple, really. Water cycle. The sun heats water on the ground, turning it into an invisible gas. Gas rises, cools, and turns into water droplets. Water droplets clump together to form clouds. Water droplets combine and fall as rain. So rain is just a bunch of tiny droplets, Sunny said? That doesn't seem so bad. Normal rainstorms are fine, but thunderstorms can make lightning and heavy rain. When too much rain falls all at once, a flood can form. Whoa!
Why is a thunderstorm different from a normal rainstorm? What's the difference between the two? Maddox?
So different because the rainstorm doesn't rain that as much as a thunderstorm, and the rainstorm is light rain, and thunderstorms are heavy rain.
Heavy rain. And what else can a thunderstorm have that's different?
Floods.
What is it?
Floods.
Floods. And there's something else I'm looking for. It's a flash in the sky.
Lightning.
Lightning. Good job. That's right.
Hang on, Chuck yelled. Hail is falling. Hail? Sunny chirped. What's that? Sometimes storm clouds, called cumulonimbus clouds, form. Water droplets in the highest parts of the cloud bounce around and freeze into ice pellets, Chuck said. The pellets hit water droplets, and the hail gets bigger. And once the hail is too heavy, it falls? Sunny asked. You got it, Chuck shouted. Come on, let's head for the woods.
So it says here, what questions do you have after reading this part of the text? Do you have any questions? What do you wonder about this part of the story? Clinton?
I wonder if they might fall on the ground because the storm might knock the trees down and knock the two birds down.
Yeah, that's a good I wonder. Does anybody else have another I wonder? I wonder what will happen, or I wonder what a hard word is, because they did say several hard words that we probably never heard of before, right? Like, what is it called? Cumulonimbus, clouds form. I've never heard of that until I read this story last year. It's a different type of form of clouds. So there are different clouds when it comes to thunderstorms and sleet and snow. If you take a look at the sky during a thunderstorm, they're dark and gray. But then there's different types of clouds when it snows and it sleets. Isn't that interesting? All right, so let's go ahead and keep reading. You should be on page 112 if you're not there yet. So you can track and read.
Isn't there any way to know when the weather will get wild? There is. Meteorologists study and predict weather. They use tools to help them. Weather tools? Sunny asked. Like what? They have instruments to measure wind speed and direction, Chuck explained, and radar to track rain and thunderstorms. Meteorologists even use satellites in outer space to track how and where the clouds move. Radar, satellite, anemometer. Sonny shivered. His papery body was growing cold. Natasha is lost and it will snow any day now, Chuck quacked sadly. So, what's the deal with snow? It's a bit different than hail. The water vapor turns into an ice crystal. The ice crystal clings to other crystals and forms a snowflake. That doesn't sound so bad, Sonny said. If the ground and air are cold enough, the snowflakes pile up and cover the ground, Chuck quacked. The lakes freeze, and it's tough for birds like us to find food. Oh, so that's why you fly south.
So somebody summarize or tell me what you learned about why birds fly south. Why do birds fly south, Omar?
Because they can't find food.
They can't find food in what type of season? What season should help? Is it hard for them to find food? Winter, right? So it says here, winter in the north are cold, snow falls, and everything freezes. So it says it's hard for birds to find food. Good job, Omar, for pointing that out. So when the winter comes, the birds go where food is easier to find. Cool. All right, so let's keep reading. There's some.
I'm not flying south without my wife. Natasha, Chuck quacked. Where are you? How's the weather down south? It's much warmer, but the weather can get wild there too. What do you mean? Sonny asked.
So on this page on 116 with your pencil, I want you to circle the character Chuck. Go ahead and circle the character Chuck.
Miss Fullington,
Yes.
I can't hear you.
Is it probably because it's you need to probably log off and log back on again. See if that will help. So everybody else, go ahead and circle the character Chuck in our story on page 116. So as the question says, why doesn't Chuck know where Natasha is? What did he keep saying in the story? What happened to Natasha?
I still can't hear you.
So Maddox is probably your earphones, sweetie. So what happened to Natasha in the story? What did Chuck keep saying throughout the story? Clinton?
Where is she?
She's missing, right? She's missing. The picture and the text tell me that Chuck is still looking for her. So Chuck said that he will not fly south without her, so I know that he will not stop looking until he finds her, right? Yeah. All right, let's keep reading.
Heat is measured in temperature, Chuck explained. When the air is hot, the temperature is hot. A low temperature means it's cool. That makes sense, Sonny said. Too much heat can hurt people, plants, even animals, Chuck quacked. During a heat wave, the temperature and humidity stay high for 2 or more days. I wouldn't want to be stuck in one of those, Sonny said. Where was the worst heat wave on record? That would be down under. The temperature in Marble Bar, Australia was over 100 degrees Fahrenheit, 38 degrees Celsius, for 160 days in a row in 1923. Hot days, mate.
All right, so it says here, oh, there's a lot of information that we probably need to underline, right? So can anybody tell me what's some of that information that we probably need to underline that's important information? Omar?
100 Fahrenheit.
100 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm going to go ahead and underline that too. All right, what else information do we have that we need to underline? Mackenzie?
1923.
Oh, 160 days, right, in a row in 1923. What else can we underline here? Landon?
Too much heat can hurt people and plants.
So where does that say? I saw that some. Here it is. Too much heat can hurt people and plants and even what? Animals. That's a good one. What else can we underline to help us understand about heat? Harlow?
38 degrees
Celsius.
Celsius.
Yes, that's something that we probably need to underline. There is three more words that we need to underline. Or actually, there's some more at the top. Somewhere in the middle. I heard it. Australia, right? So it says here, Marble Bar, Australia. That's one. Now we need one more that I'm seeing. One more. It's probably right here where Landon pointed out something.
The beach.
Well, what does it say? Chuck quacked. During a heat wave, the temperature and humidity stay high for how many days? 2 or more days, right? So I would underline this sentence too, because that's very important. Because that goes with our heat, right? Our heat wave. Good job, guys. That's a lot of information. All right, we're going to keep moving on. All right, so we should be on page 118. 118.
Where is Natasha? She couldn't have just disappeared. What happened to those trees? A tornado came through here years ago, Chuck said. What's a tornado? Sonny asked. It's a funnel of wind that forms in the sky and erects what it touches on the ground, Chuck said. Tornadoes form during a thunderstorm. They are more likely to occur over flat land. But how? Sonny asked. When the wind in a storm changes direction, increases speed, and rises, it makes the air below it spin. Rising air pushes the spinning column of air downward until it's vertical. The spinning funnel of air speeds up, forming a tornado. Tornadoes are usually determined to be weak, strong, or violent. The violent ones can have winds in excess of 200 miles, 322 kilometers per hour. They can destroy homes. Only 2% of tornadoes are violent.
I see some information here. What do we see? Clinton?
322
Kilometers
kilometers.
per hour. Yeah, so right here we can underline that. What else do we need to underline? Mackenzie?
200 miles.
200 miles, right? And what is that talking about? What goes 200 miles?
The tornado.
The tornado, or what causes the tornado? It starts with a W. Rolando?
Lots of wind.
Wind, right? Wind. So it says the violent ones can have winds in excess of. So that's something that we need to include with our underline. But there's one more fact that I see that needs to be underlined. Maddox?
Only 2% of tornadoes are violent.
Good job. That's exactly what I was looking for. Awesome. All right. So we're going to continue reading the rest of the story. So we'll go ahead and mute yourself. Make sure you're muted.
I had no idea weather could be so scary, Sonny said. That's nothing. My cousin Frank almost got caught in a hurricane once. A hurricane? I'm afraid to ask. A hurricane forms in summer or fall, Chuck said. It forms over an ocean and moves toward land. Does it make lots of wind like a tornado? Asked Sonny. Yes. Strong winds rotate around the eye of the storm, said Chuck. The spinning storm picks up energy from the warmth of the ocean. When it hits land, high winds and heavy rain can damage buildings. The eye of a hurricane is the spot in the center of the storm. In the eye, the winds are light or calm. Clouds break up and rain ends as the sky clears. Wow, all that dangerous weather scares me, said Sonny. Here's the thing, Sonny, Chuck said. We can't control weather, but meteorologists can warn everyone when dangerous weather is coming, and we can prepare for it. Hey, Chuck, is that your wife? It is. Where were you, Natasha? I went back for my sunglasses. I can't fly south without them. Come with us, Sonny, Chuck said. I'd love to, Sonny said. But can I get some of those cool sunny glasses, too?
Miss Hamilton, you're muted. You're muted.
Thank you. So go ahead and close your books. And put those, well, don't close your books. I'm sorry. You're going to need those books. Just kidding. I'm sorry. Miss Fullington tricked you. You can go back to page 102 because you're going to need this for Seesaw.
Miss Fullington, you made me shut my book. Now I won't know.
Sorry. All right. Yes, page 102. Page 102.
How dare you?
Sorry. So you are going to use this story to help you with your power words because your power words, they have all of your power words in the story. And you're going to need to find them to know what each power word means. And they are highlighted in yellow already for you. So that will be the easiest to find, right? So 102, 102 is where you need to be, Harlow, 102. All right, so what I'm sorry? Yes, that's it. Perfect. All right, so Ms. Fullington's going to show you in Seesaw what your activity is to do for today. We already know what it's about, right? So it should be pretty simple.
How can Mackenzie do it because she don't have her iPad, just like we did on the activity?
So Harlow and Mackenzie will work together for me, okay? And then Mackenzie, when you get home, you can finish this assignment, okay? All right, so in Seesaw, we have the activity. It says 128 Thursday, wild weather vocab. Use your My Book to complete the assignment, and it is a graded activity. Ooh, so make sure that you have this activity finished by the time that you leave for lunch, okay? So right here it says we're going to add a response. And so you have the Power Words page that we've done in the past. It says word bank, clings, damage, excess, funnel, occur, pellets, predict, tough. So these are your words. So the easiest way you can do this is use your story, but you can also look at the back of your book. The back of your book has a glossary. Remember, we used the glossary a lot at the beginning of the year for our word work. So the glossary is on page 196. The glossary has all of your words in alphabetical order, and it even tells you the definition straight from right here. So you can use your glossary to help you also at the back of your book to help you. So if we look right here, it says, which word means the opposite of easy? Which word is the opposite of easy? Maddox?
Hard.
But is hard part of our word bank?
Tough.
Tough. Tough is another word for hard. So I would use my text and I would put in tough. And I would minimize it to fit on the blank. And then you want to make sure to get that pen and cross out the word because you're only going to use it once. Okay, there's 8 of them, and make sure that you get this grade in because I'm taking it as a grade in our grade book. So you want to make sure that you do your very best because if I see that you got several wrong, I'm going to send it back to you, okay? All right, so
There's only 7 questions.
there's only 7 now, right? Because we did one together. So if you take away 1 out of 8, it is 7. You're right. So there are only 7 questions left that you have to do. So when you're done, you're going to press the green check mark, and then you have 2 places in your My Book to find what these words mean. You have the story, or you can look at the glossary at the back of your book. Okay. All right, guys. If does anybody have questions? Do what?
Mackenzie has to work with me because she said no.
Okay, that's fine. All right. Does anybody have questions for me that are still logged in?
Me.
Maddox, what's your question?
Are we gonna do blue group?
Yes, blue group needs to stay on with me. So that's Mackenzie, Maddox. Who else? Mackenzie, Maddox.
Stillington.
Mackenzie, Maddox. So Mackenzie, you can just listen in on to one of your neighbors, okay? Mackenzie, Maddox, Omar A, and Christopher. So those are the only ones that should be still logged in. Isabella Wigington, you can work with Harlow if you want, since you just walked in, sweetie, okay? So Harlow and Isabella Wigington, if you don't have any questions, you can log out. Melanie, do you have any questions, sweetie?
No.
All right. So you can go ahead and do your social studies for today and your reading, okay?
Okay.
All right. Have a good day, sweetie.
I stopped it with my. Bye.
Bye. All right. So Maddox, you need your camera on, and Omar, you need your camera on, and Christopher, camera on. And we're going to go ahead and do in your, so let me go ahead and I am presenting Seesaw. So in Seesaw, you have this activity. So today, remember we were talking about inferencing, making a smart guess, and we're going to put that into practice today, okay? So in this practice, we have 128. It says Thursday inferencing. Do you see it? It says look at the picture and make an inference based on what you see and what you know. So I'm going to add a response like a sample student. And so right here, we have inferences. So what you're going to do is come over here and you're going to put your inference. Oh, actually, it's right here on number 5. So you're going to look at picture 1, and then you're going to slide 5, and you're going to tell me right here in this space right here, you're going to tell me what you see. So you would say, I will well, I know. You can say, I know. And then you're going to finish that sentence. So I would look at picture 1, take a look at that picture, and then you can tell me, I know, and then finish the sentence. Now, there are only 4 pictures. So there's 4 pictures. And once you're done with all 4 pictures and you put your words down right here, then you are finished with your inferencing practice, okay? Does anybody have questions for me? Maddox?
What are inferences?
Remember, an inference is making a guess. So, okay, so for example, on this first picture, I know that in this first picture, there's 2 girls, and I know that if they have those special hats and gowns, I know that they are graduating, right? They're graduating from some type of school. And I know that they're happy because they finished school and they have flowers and they have their book and they look like they are so excited to finish school. So do you see how Mrs. Fullington looked at the picture, but also used her background knowledge that she knew that they were graduating? That's how you make an inference, okay?
Okay.
All right. Omar, did you have a question for me? I can't hear you, sweetie. Maddox and Christopher, make sure you turn down your iPads because you're so close to Omar that it's picking up your microphones too. So make sure that you check those buttons at the top of your iPad.
Is this for a grade?
This is not for a grade. This is extra practice because it is going to be on your module test, and we want to practice to make it perfect, right? All right. Go ahead and do your best on this, and then you can go do your reading assignment, okay? All right. Christopher, do you have any questions? Omar, do you have a question?
Can we work with partners?
Yes, you can work with your group. You can work with the group, Maddox.
Miss Wellington?
Yes, Isabella Wigington.
Do we do that?
The picture one?
Yeah.
No, that's going to be in your small group. So tomorrow you'll do it with me, okay?
The one with the girls?
Yeah, the one with the girls in the hats. Yes.
Okay.
You'll do that tomorrow with me, okay?
Okay.
All righty. Bye.
I'm just checking.
Okay. That's very responsible. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. So Omar, Maddox, if you don't have any more questions, you can log out of the Google Meets and then complete your assignments, okay?
See you tomorrow, I guess?
Yes, tomorrow. So Maddox, you're still logged into the Google Meet.
I thought I was logged out.
No, that's okay. It happens a lot.
Ah.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.